connection is good. Okay, and now, how do I make her a moderator? Here we go. There we go. Awesome.
Okay, that one looks good.
Okay.
All right, this one now?
Yeah. Perfect.
Hi, everybody. Hi. We're just getting set up on Instagram and on TikTok here. So we joined a little early to make sure everything is working, and we'll get that all sorted. But thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we're so excited. We've got so many questions the last few days, so we are excited to start answering them. Thank you so much. We've been waiting for so long to announce the Bloom deal, and I can't believe the announcement is finally out.
It's very exciting. So we'll start the official live with questions, etc. Right at 5. I have many things to talk to you guys about. Here's my stack of paper. But we're just happy that you guys are here. Thank you so much. Hi, TikTok.
Hi.
Hey.
So we're on TikTok and Instagram at the same time on 2 different phones. So if it looks like we're looking off into the distance, it's probably at the other screen.
Yes. And our internet was a little wonky today, so I'm crossing fingers.
That it will last for the live.
So we are here on Vancouver Island. It's 5 o'clock. Where are you guys coming from? And what time is it where you are? Hopefully not too late. I think that looks good. Hi.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got our big list of questions we are going to answer.
We do. Vancouver Island too. Hey, hello.
Florida. Oh, I love Florida.
Texas, New York, South Africa, 2 a.m. Thank you for being here. 2 a.m. here.
Australia.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited to go to Australia. We're leaving next week.
Friday. We're leaving Friday.
Oh my gosh, we're leaving Friday. Going to New Zealand first and then to New Zealand or to Australia. So
yeah, we fly to Auckland. We'll be in Auckland
for a couple of days.
And we're doing, we actually land in Auckland at 5 a.m. And then we have a signing at Enamored Bookstore at 11 a.m. So excited for that. It's going to be awesome. It's the best thing ever to get to meet readers from around the world. And it has been our dream forever to go to New Zealand. Forever,
so
ever.
It's on my bucket list. So we're going to go to Hobbiton, which I am very excited about, and do lots of Lord of the Rings things. But also, I've just heard it's the best place with the best people. And I already know I love Australia because I lived there for a year. I worked as an au pair with a family, and it was literally felt like a home away from home.
And so TikTok is getting a little bit of a view of Wessie here.
Yeah. Wessie's joining us too.
So it's just about 5 o'clock, and that's when we'll sort of start really diving into the nitty gritty here. We'll just give it a couple more minutes for
I see some people from Scotland. That's my favorite place. We visited there last year and went on a little tour around Scotland, and it was literally the best. I love Edinburgh. It's just such an amazing town, and I just love Scotland. So hopefully we'll be back to Scotland one day.
We were literally saying, how are we not going to Scotland this year? Because we've been the last 2 years, and it's very sad for us not to go back this year. But we're already making plans that we'd like to go in 2026 if we can. Hi from France. Hi.
Awesome. So it's 5 o'clock now. So we put a Q&A up the other day, as well as just from our comments, and we have a big list of questions, and they'll be spoiler free until the end, and we'll give you a warning. And so we're just going to go through and answer these questions, and then at the end, Forever is still here, we'll do a live Q&A, so you can put your questions in the comments at the end. So
just to give you guys an idea, because I know there are so many questions that have popped up, this is my teacher hat coming out here, we've organized our Q&A. So I'll tell you sort of the categories we're going to touch on. We'll start by just answering questions about generally the Bloom acquisition, all of that stuff. Then we're going to talk about questions people had about book 5 in particular. Then we'll be talking about arcs. Hi, Mama. Mama's here. Then we're going to be talking about the audiobook. Then we'll talk about KU, Kindle Unlimited. Then we'll talk on international editions. Then we'll talk about special editions.
Our amazing assistant has organized this for us,
Yeah.
so that was good. You said you did it, but
Well,
that was a lie.
I enjoyed it, I guess. And then we'll talk about Shopify, which is our personal store where we sell merch, etc. We'll talk about Prince of the Arena. And don't worry, some of these categories only have 2 questions, so you're not gonna be here all night, I promise. We'll talk about the new series that was announced, or sort of announced. And then there's a category called fun questions. So these are kind of random Beast of the Briar questions. And then, and questions about visiting, etc., different tours, etc. And then future things we'll see future in Beast of the Briar. So those might have some spoilers. So we'll give you a spoiler warning if you have not yet read all the 4 books that are released. And then if we haven't answered your question
at the end of it all, we'll
can
do
ask
a little Q&A at the end.
And if you're new here, I'm Elizabeth. This is my sister Helen.
And also Wesley's hanging out. This is Wesley, and his sister's name is Buttercup, after my favorite book and movie, The Princess Bride. So this is Wesley. He's just kind of lounging in front of us, being really queenie today. So
yes, and we write the Beast of the Briar series, which is
I cut you off.
That's okay. Which is a fantasy romance, Beauty and the Beast retelling. Why choose? Alrighty. How exciting, you guys. I'll start out. We're going to be talking about the Bloom acquisition. So the first question we had on our list was someone asked, how are you guys feeling about it?
It's very overwhelming in a way. I feel like we have been dreamed of being traditionally published for so many years, and we faced a lot of rejection for over a decade. And last year we achieved a lot of that dream by being picked up in the UK. And now to also have a North American publisher is just amazing. And know the book will be available in places like Walmart and Target and Barnes and Noble, that a lot more accessible than it is for indie authors. And it just feels pretty surreal, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. It is. I think overwhelming is a good word. We're so excited to be working with the Bloom team. The Bloom team is very unique, and they are incredibly experienced at working with hybrid authors and working with indies, which was really important to us. And so they get indie publishing, they get our roots, they get where we came from, which is amazing. So we're really excited about everything that's to come, and there's lots more that's coming your guys' way that we can't wait to share as well. So
and I saw some comments about is Bloom, as the publisher, going to make you change the story or anything? And no, they're so in line with our vision. They just the vibe from the team is not that at all. They're just also excited about the book. So
exactly.
It's very amazing.
And just to clarify, so basically how it is in North America, so US and Canada, I talk about Canada. When we talk about publishing, we exclude Canada from the Commonwealth. It's kind of a weird thing. So talking about US and Canada, we own the digital rights for books 1 to 7. And we always have, and we always will own those digital rights. We also own the audio rights in US and Canada for books 1 to 7. And what Bloom has done is they've bought the print rights for books 1 to 7. And in the UK, HarperCollins imprint, Harper Voyager / Magpie, owns the digital and print and audio rights for books 1 to 4. And now for books 5 to 7, moving forward, we have the digital and audio rights back, and Bloom has taken over the print rights. So that's why there's a lot to chat about.
It's going to look different.
Yes, in different territories.
Rights are just different, and then it limits our control of what we could do when we don't have the rights to certain things. So we do, if it's confusing for us explaining it, we do have an FAQ listed that has everything written out in our bio.
So the way I said that, because when I listen to stuff, I need to see it written down to understand, really. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty. People are wondering about the covers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk, there's sort of two different covers, right? There's what I call the indie covers, and those are the ones with the girl on the cover. And those have always been available in US and Canada.
Wait, while you do this, I'm just going to grab one.
Okay, perfect. And then there's also what I call the UK covers. These are like the text-based covers. Helen's actually going to grab them so I can show you. And these are the ones that have been available in the UK, the Commonwealth, Europe. And again, I know UK is part of Europe, but just the way in publishing, they're all kind of separate entities. So pardon me for always listing those separately. So for US and Canada, it's St. Jupiter is our cover designer, and she's going to be doing the full series. For the print run that Bloom is re-releasing, they're doing what they're calling a deluxe version. So that means that it's the same cover, same size, but it's also got a little bit of bells and whistles. So what that means is the first run of the deluxe edition is going to have sprayed edges. And they are beautiful. We've seen them, and you guys will see those soon. The colors are just slightly tweaked just to make the colors pop a little bit, but they're the same covers. And books 5 to 7 are gonna like follow the same style. Yeah. So we've already seen the cover for book 5. I think you guys will.
I love it so much. So the cover reveal will be sometime in June. We don't have an exact date yet, but we will announce that soon.
Yes.
And the title reveal is coming on Thursday.
Yes, and then so talking about other territories. So let's say the UK, you guys are going to continue what you had. So that means you're getting the hardcovers that are the print style, text. Does that make sense? Text style.
Yeah.
Text-based style. So you're going to continue with your hardcovers. They're going to be the same size, the same style as that. In Australia, New Zealand, same thing. You guys had the paperbacks with that text-based cover is going to continue like that. So whatever you've already got, it's just going to continue.
Short answer, whatever's already coming out will continue. The biggest difference is North America with like the republishing, and they'll just come with now fancy sprayed edges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really didn't want you guys to have to like rebuy them if you don't want them, but if you want the like special fancy trophy, then very cool. So yeah, hopefully that answers the cover question. Are the new re-releases, are they the same story? Absolutely, exact same story. We've done some light copy editing with Bloom. So what that looks like is we changed house style. So that's like certain capitalization is different. So like switch around punctuation maybe a little bit, a couple word changes.
But nothing major, nothing that changes the story. Like as opposed to when we went with HarperCollins, we did add a couple chapters just because it was our first time ever editing the books with like a professional editor, and we thought we could bump up the stories a bit. So like book 1 and 2 had added chapters, but these ones are the same ones that have been out, and the light copy edits will also be reflected in the digital version. So if you've already bought it on Kindle, or if you re-download it on Kindle Unlimited, it'll automatically change and update as well. But nothing major.
All right, we talked about the UK covers, the Australian covers. Will the books be available as a box set? Not to our knowledge at the moment. They're not going to be a box set.
Because they're releasing separately. So Bonded by Thorns releases in November, and Woven by Gold, I believe, December.
You know what? The release dates would have been a great thing for us to.
They are on here. They are on here somewhere.
They are on here somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Nope. That's still. Well, they're coming out like a month apart from each other.
Yeah.
So
I can get it up here, but
this is a very nice question. Where should we order your books from that gets you the most royalties? Well, thank you very much. That's very thoughtful. And that question is, please order the books wherever is most convenient. Wherever you order them from supports us, and we really appreciate that. So if you want to order from Amazon or read on KU or do Audible or Barnes & Noble or Indigo, whatever is your store of choice, thank you. That is very helpful.
Yeah. So yeah, Bonded by Thorns is November. Woven by Gold, the re-release, the deluxe edition, December. Forged by Malice, January. Broken by Daylight, February. So they're just a month apart, and then we have a little bit of a break between February and April, which will be book 5. So very exciting.
what does this mean with HarperCollins? So that was our UK publisher. Have you parted ways? So HarperCollins, their imprint, Harper Voyager, Magpie, they still maintain the rights to books 1 to 4. So we're always going to work with them when it comes to the UK editions of book 1 to 4. We still have ties with them, but Bloom has taken over the print rights for what their territories were moving forward. And we have taken back the digital and audiobook rights. So that's all I'll say about that.
Will there be new PR boxes? So we'll see if Bloom is going to do. I don't know for sure if Bloom will do PR boxes. I guess the best way to if we want that is to just be really excited about their new editions and yeah, just hyping up the series in general. But I would love if we did PR boxes. And yeah, can we pre-order? Yes, the pre-orders are open for the deluxe editions now. If you go to the link in our bio and click Bloom pre-order, all the links are there. So directly to Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or Indigo. And it's not quite as easy as searching right now because the indie editions are up still. So if you really want to get the deluxe editions, just make sure you follow the links from our bio. Just in this kind of weird transition period. And the images will update soon. And I can guarantee you, if you want to wait to see the edges are beautiful. So yeah, the pre-orders are up now.
Yes. All right, you guys, we finished Bloom acquisition section. Woohoo! So we can now move on to questions that you guys had specifically about book 5. The first question was, are we really waiting until next year for book 5? Can't we have the ebook early? I thought it was going to come out this year. Yeah, so here's sort of the thing. We understand that it's very frustrating to have to wait until 2026. And we, of course, were also hoping for a 2025 release. But it's hard to explain all the nuances that have to go into what goes on behind the scenes before a release. We are really, really, really excited and lucky that Bloom was supportive of rapid releasing books 5 to 7. So that means that it's no longer one book a year. We can see the series complete. We can not have you guys waiting so long for those cliffhangers. And we get to see the conclusion of the story in 2026. We're really excited about that. And we know it's frustrating to wait. We do understand that. And, we are as excited as you guys are to get the story out.
I know, I cannot wait for you guys to read it. And, we really appreciate all your patience and, sticking with us for this story because, and honestly, it was such a dream opportunity that we've been wanting for our entire life. So with, the option to partner with Bloom and, yeah, we're so lucky that they are with us for finishing the whole story in 2026 and are doing such beautiful additions and rapidly releasing. In the traditional publishing world, it's pretty wild for them to be releasing 4 books, one after a month, and then 3 books the next year, which is 7 books in a whole year period, which is mostly unheard of in the traditional publishing world. So we're really lucky, we think, with that, and just the fact that the series will be a lot more accessible to people. You can walk into a bookstore and get it, you can walk into Target and get it. So yeah, we thank you guys for waiting, and we do have the novella coming out this June, so hopefully that will help tide you guys over. And they'll be coming up, there'll be really big excitement around the re-releases and hopefully some more teasers and stuff we can share with you guys.
Absolutely. And the other thing is about this series, and one thing we're very grateful to our readers for, is you guys have stuck with us as the series has progressed into more and more epic fantasy.
Yes.
So, Bonded by Thorns is truly a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and we wanted to stay, our goal was to stay very faithful to the original Beauty and the Beast retelling. And as we have taken the series further, each book gets deeper and deeper into this high fantasy realm. And we're so glad you guys are on that journey, because we just love high fantasy. But also having Bloom's editorial support for that, and having a team that is excited to do that, it really just...
Wesley hit that with his tail.
what we want more than anything is to make sure that Rosie gets the ending that she deserves, and that you guys who have been on this journey with us get the books that you deserve. So we want to make sure books, 5, 6, and 7 are like the best books they can possibly be. And honestly, getting the way that we've been saying this since started writing book 5, the fact we are sort of writing them in this style, one after another, we are able to edit them in a way that feels so powerful for the story, because so this style has provided us with a lot of benefits, and I think I hope you guys are really gonna like the story. Yeah. We have been pouring blood, sweat, and tears.
Because writing 5, 6, and 7 so close to each other, it kind of feels like writing one massive book, and it's pretty fun. So,
but yeah, sorry, I kind of rambled on that one. Do you have a title reveal date for book 5?
Yes, so that's coming on Thursday will be the title reveal, and then all the pre-order links will be up on Thursday. So stay tuned for that announcement. And the release date for book 5 is April 21st, 2026. And the cover reveal will be in June. And we've already talked about when 5, 6, and 7 are going to be released. Oh, maybe we didn't. Book 5 is April 2026. Book 6 is July 2026. So between book 5 and 6, you only have a couple months wait. And then the last book in the series will be October 2026. So the series will end in October 2026. So just over a year from now. So I cannot believe it.
I honestly felt like we just finished the outline last week of book 7. And I felt, you guys know, we've talked about this before, we do very, very detailed outlines. And honestly, I felt just emotional getting to the end. Like the last time we did our little, and I've talked about this at length as well, so I won't go into it, but doing our auction of the scenes and all of that, and being like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my last
Dayton scene, or my last Rosie scene, or whoever,
So that is very special. All right, though. We finished another section, book 5. Moving into talking about arcs. So what will happen to the current arc team? Are we going to do more arc teams? So you guys, I wish I had more news for you, but at this point, we're so far away from the release date of book 5 that I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know if
we don't know Bloom's plan, and like we have an amazing arc team. I just don't know what our move will be. If we'll send out our own arcs, if we'll be allowed to send out our own arcs.
And we've talked to Bloom that we have an established arc team, all of that. So, but we're just too far out for that. So,
too far out to know what our capacity for time and writing will be at the time, as well as there are you worry as an author, and there's horror stories of people pirating it before the release. So we might pull back on arcs because it's so far into the series. We just don't know, but that being said, we're so grateful for everyone who has ever been an ARC reader, and we will let you know more info when we have it.
You guys will be
And
updated.
It's kind of the same with the cover reveal. So we have an amazing cover reveal team that you guys have revealed covers from 1 to 4. At this point, especially for the June release, because we'll be away for most leading up to the cover reveal for book 5, we're just going to let Bloom do this cover reveal. Just simply because with all the writing and traveling, we don't have the capacity to organize our own cover reveal team. But that doesn't mean that we aren't grateful for everyone who has taken the time to reveal it. And if you are able to share on that day, share the cover in your stories after Bloom reveals it, or comment on it, or it, that means so much to us. So that's kind of our stuff on arcs and cover reveals. Basically, we don't really know.
So, we finished another section.
Yeah, I need to get some water. I need to hydrate after all these questions.
So, the other big announcement we did today was talking about the audiobooks. This is something that has been in the works for a while. This is something we have been wanting to do for ages, but it's incredibly expensive to do. So, we had sort of had to budget for that. But what we had always wanted to do is we'd always wanted to re-record our audiobooks, because when we did
them so early in the self-publishing process before I had done any professional edits.
And then when we got picked up by Harper, we changed things, we added things. And so, and we have always loved Duet-Style. And there were
if
always...
we're going to re-record it anyways, let's see if we can do that.
And because we had explored so many different options, and basically we were told by Audible's like company, ACX, that we were going to have to basically do a new audiobook if we wanted any changes. So we were like, let's do it duet style. So questions about the audiobook. We had our what is duet style that we keep talking about. So a duet style means that in our case, we have a female narrator and a male narrator, and the female narrator will read all of the female's chapters, so Rosalina's chapters, as well as the female dialogue.
In like any of the boys' chapters.
And our male narrator will read the male chapters and all the male dialogue. So that means that if you're reading a Rosalina's chapter, our narrator Stephanie will be reading Rosalina's inner thoughts. But if Kel has a line, then it will be said by Rob, our male narrator. So very exciting. We're very pumped about it. We absolutely love Steph and Rob's narration styles. And so the idea of getting to hear Rob say some certain lines that we've never got to hear him say before is very exciting. And vice versa for Steph. We're so excited about that. I'm going to take a sip of water now.
Okay, I'll do the next one. And we kind of talked about this. So if you already own it, if you already own, say, Bonded by Thorns on Audible, will you have to rebuy the new recording, or will your recording disappear? So we were on the phone with Audible for hours about this, trying to figure it out, and they don't give us the option to upload new files. So basically, if you own Bonded by Thorns now on audiobook in the US, this is like the US and Canada only. This does not include any copies of Bonded by Thorns audiobook for the UK. That's completely separate. As we talk about, it's being a hybrid author is a little confusing, and this is all written out on our frequently asked questions too. So it will stay in your library. You can have it downloaded in your library. You keep it forever. If you want to listen to the new one, you will have to rebuy it, and that's just because it's a whole brand new production. Our narrators are doing it from scratch. They're not like using any of the old stuff. We're paying for it from scratch, like out of our pockets. This isn't by a publisher. So it's basically a brand new productions. But if you already own it, you can keep it forever. But yeah, so it'll be a whole new one. And we didn't really even have the option to just update the files. So, and it will be exclusive to Audible. That's just what worked for us, unfortunately. That's a whole other conversation about Audible and the royalties they give authors, unfortunately. But yeah, and we'll definitely do lots of giveaways here and on our Facebook group, because I know it sucks to have to rebuy something you've already bought. But we definitely appreciate you guys if you love the series enough to try this new version and see Steph and Rob's new work.
Absolutely. And that being said, if you already own a version, you're not you don't need the new version because the story is the same. It's got a little bit new content, but the story is the same, and that's yours forever. If you've already bought it, you just download it to your device. So yeah, but it's going to be
the duet style is going to be so much fun. So where will the duet style be available? For North America and Canada, books 1 and 2 are being re-recorded first, and then 5, 6, and 7. And then after 7 is recorded, we're going to go back and do 3 and 4. So it'll be a little bit wonky for a while. And the reason why we're not prioritizing 3 and 4 is that content has changed the least. And then our narrators are also really busy, so it takes a while to because they're so good to book them, right? So they can only do so much at a time. So our priorities are 1 and 2, and then 5, 6, and 7, and later we'll go back and do 3 and 4. And then this is where it gets tricky. So in the UK, books 1 to 4 will always have the Harper narration, where they have the different narrator for each boy and the different narrator for a girl. And then 5, 6, and 7 will be this duet style with Rob and Steph, which are our self-produced ones. And that's just because we're not working with Harper anymore for the last 4 books. There's literally last 3 books. There's literally no option to continue in that style with our Harper Voyager one, and that's just kind of one of the quirky things of being a hybrid author. So we hope you guys understand. And this is all I'm chatting a lot. This is all laid out in our FAQ for audiobooks.
And then we've mentioned this, but who are doing the re-recordings? Stephanie K and Robert Hatchett. So these have been our OG narrators from the get-go. We love them so much. Rob does different voices for each of the princes. He's absolutely incredible. He's also, by the way, just so you know, I'm going to shout him out, on Cameo right now. And so he has been doing Cameo videos as the princes. So if you want like
Kaldarian.
You want Ezrin to wish you a happy birthday or like something, you can look him up, Robert Hatchett, on Cameo, and he will do like he'll say a line or whatever you want as the princes. It's very fun. But yeah, so Steph and Rob are the voices in our heads. And so we're so excited that they agreed to. I said, I'm sorry, you guys have to read these books again. But they are our teammates through and through, and we're so happy to be working on this project with them. We did it, you guys. We did another section.
We're now on Kindle Unlimited and Kindle.
I think we can breeze through this one.
Yeah.
This one's pretty easy. Will the books still be in KU? So in US and Canada, always in KU, always and forever in KU, 1 to 7, no problems.
As long as Amazon doesn't change things drastically, I don't want to promise.
I guess I should say
forever.
always and forever because it's Amazon is Amazon, but for the foreseeable future, KU. So 1 to 4 in the UK, Europe, Commonwealth. That is the rights that are the digital rights that are owned by Harper Voyager. Those are not in KU. We don't know. Maybe they will come into KU, but it's not up to us, but perhaps in the future. But as we have gotten the rights for 5 to 7, those will be going into KU for the rest of the series.
And it's possible that they'll go into KU. Sometimes traditional publishers have the option to put their books in KU, and we've been trying to advocate with Harper to put the books in KU. So they told us it's a possibility. So my hope is that the books will eventually be added to KU in the UK, but it's not something, unfortunately, we have that much control over. And will this book still be on Kindle? Yes. In North America and the UK, there's the option to buy the Kindle edition. And will the digital versions of Bonded by Thorns be removed at all, like before the Bloom release? And no, they'll stay up just like normal.
Yeah,
the paperbacks will be removed about 12 weeks before, though. And we'll give you guys lots of warning on our TikTok and Instagram to be like, if you really want the indie editions, buy them now. And they'll go down 12 weeks. So yes. I would say if you know right now in your heart you want the indie editions, just buy them now. And then, because they'll go down forever once Bloom takes over.
Yes, and those digital versions will eventually be updated with the light copy edits from Bloom. But again, it's
there's nothing major. You wouldn't need to reread them.
Yeah, I don't think you guys would notice that much. International editions is okay. We finished a section. Yay!
Yeah.
Now we're moving to international editions. Only 2 questions here. Do you have a release date for books 3 to 4 in France or in French? We have signed a contract that they are going to be published 1 to 4 with Chat. I'm sorry, I pronounced this wrong. Someone corrected me. It's not Chatterley. That's how I want to say it, but it's not. With our French publisher. But we don't know the release date, is what I'm trying to tell you.
But right now, the French editions are so beautiful.
They are.
And we haven't got our copies yet, but they're so stunning. So I'm excited to see what they'll do for the last 2. And hopefully, if the sales are good, they will continue the series.
Absolutely. And will this news change what happens with our international books? No, our translations are always done with the the international publisher. So this news doesn't affect any of those.
Awesome. So we're on another section of questions.
This is a big one.
And that is special edition. So this was our most asked question, I think, was about what happens with the Fairyloot editions. So basically, we are so happy you guys love them, and we really, really want Fairyloot to continue the series. And Bloom also loves the Fairyloot editions. So we are very hopeful that Fairyloot would continue. And we would be grateful if you guys let them know that you love the series too. But what we do know is that Fairyloot wouldn't do the release of books 5 to 7 until they're all published, which means that's after October 2026, because they would probably do like how they released 3, 2, 3, and 4 as a bundle, they would release 5, 6, and 7 as a bundle. So it means we probably won't have news for a long time. Another question is Fairyloot going to reprint books 2 to 4? I have no idea. I don't know how often they do reprints. Maybe if the demand is enough, but they might also keep them as like super special. So I have no idea. And then we also have What About Moonlight, Books for Days crates, and Imagine Books. So now like Bloom has control over the print rights. But we love these book boxes, and we've let them know that we'd love to continue working with them. So when we have news on those, we will let you know.
So that's special editions. So now moving on to our personal website. Will you still be selling art on your website or other merch? Yes, at this time. So just to let you guys know, right now our shop is closed, it's on hiatus, and that's because we're heading to New Zealand in 2 days. That's reason number 1. We're going away, so we can't run the shop. And reason number 2 is our postal system is going on strike on Thursday. And that's how we ship. It's the only affordable way we have to ship. And it's not even that affordable. But without them, we can't ship. So we have put the shop on hiatus for this time.
Oh, and I'm just going to jump in. I'm going to jump back.
Oh, yeah.
Someone else asked about Fake Crate, which is one we just had the first book out of. So the first book with Fake Crate was only ever supposed to be an event exclusive for the first book, and was only ever signed a contract for 1 book, and the leftovers were sold on the website. So there's no plans at the moment to continue the series. If Fake Crate like ever wanted to continue, I loved their style. I loved the art. They would then go through Bloom, who now owns the print rights, but it's something like if Bloom asked us, like, hey, do you want to continue with Fake Crate? We would say 100% yes, because we love those editions. Like, we love every book box we've worked with. Just a lot of it now is out of our control. So anyway, so go back to the website stuff.
Okay.
I just saw that one.
Not as exciting to talk about the website stuff. Our signed book's still going to be available in your shop. So, as you guys know, we've talked about how all of the print editions, our indie print editions, will have to come out of print 8 to 12 weeks before the re-release. So that means we won't be selling signed books on our shop after that date, but we are hoping to do one more restock of signed books. So this is dependent on our postal system coming up, and we do support our posties, just so you guys know.
Canada Post is going on strike.
Yeah, so we support our posties, and we want them to, we wishing them all the best, and if the strike ends, I think it will, we'll be able to do another listing of signed books, and that will be on our socials. We'll post a newsletter as well.
And if that all goes well, we will also post Prince of the Arena in our shop. It probably won't be for release, but we do hope to get those up as well.
And we'll be touching, Prince of the Arena has its own section. Don't you guys worry?
Yeah.
We're all, and someone asked, can you make page overlays for the books and sell them in your shop? Which is an amazing idea.
Yeah.
We don't have plans at the moment to do this, but if a bookish shop anywhere would like to collab and we can license them or something, that would be awesome.
That would probably be the ideal.
So if you guys have a bookish shop you guys really support and want to throw our way or throw us their way, etc., that would be really cool.
That's probably the best way. Like, there's a piece of merch or something that you want from us. Like, at this point, I don't think we're going to be expanding the shop much, just because it takes a lot of time and we need to focus on writing the books. But if there's bookish shops you love and they're like, what creator should we work with? Just send them our way. We love to license. Give them our email.
And I can't say anything yet, but I will say we're collabing with a Canadian company.
We're collabing with a Canadian company for something we've never sold, and there will be an announcement soon, and we're so excited.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's super fun.
Yeah, you guys are going to be so excited.
I'm very pumped about it. I hope you guys are pumped about it. All right. That's it on Shopify. Now, Prince of the Arena. Is the Bloom acquisition affecting Prince of the Arena? No, it's not. So we maintain all of our rights to Prince of the Arena, the novella. So your pre-order, you can still pre-order it on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, Indigo. If you've already pre-ordered it, that's all the same. It's all normal. I think there was a little bit of confusion because Bloom is going to stick Prince of the Arena in the back of Bonded by Thorns. That's just for fun.
That's just like a little extra, just like for people to read it after, because I think it flows really nicely to learn about that. But Yes.
Yeah, that's just like a little bonus.
So
for
it's still
Prince of
being
the-
released June 20th, the first day of summer, and we'll still have our own edition of the book that will be the same size and like match everything. Unfortunately, it won't have like sprayed edges or anything because we can't do that as indies, but it'll still be good. And unfortunately, it won't get a matching UK cover just because obviously we're not working with a publisher for it, so we have no way to make a matching edition or a hardcover edition. So it'll just be a special little indie book.
Yeah, it's our little indie one. So that's all about Dayton and Farron and Prince of the Arena. Alrighty, so we're motoring through this, you guys. The next section of questions is, some people didn't see this. It was slipped into the Bloom acquisition announcement, but Bloom has also acquired a brand new series from us.
So I saw a couple questions like, is that what you're going to be working on after book 7? And that is. So we have a brand new series coming out with Bloom, and there'll be more official announcements soon. But we can tell you it is a very true enemies to lovers, where they are truly enemies, and it's an epic fantasy, pretty high fantasy. And if you guys want a teaser for it, we have on our Instagram highlight reels, it just says new series, and we posted a couple teasers on there, but I'm dying to share more information, but we can't yet.
And yeah, it'll get its own moment in the sun at some point, but we just wanted to let Rosie and the gang have their sort of moment. But this is the book that we wrote. We wrote this book when we were like 14 and 16.
It's been like the book of our
hearts. We're not publishing the book we wrote when we were 14, but this is the story that has been like, the book of our hearts since we were teenagers. And I
think we're finally able to do it justice. It's one of those stories like I always had growing up, and I'm like, I cannot write this, in the way that I think it deserves. But after writing like a 7-book series and all like the learning and writing tips and stuff we've done with like Rosie's journey, I think we're finally able to write this how I envision it, and I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So you guys, I'm wondering, should we do
maybe this one first, because this is going into spoilers.
Yeah, we don't want to do spoilers.
These are fun questions. Oh, is the new series just one book? The new series is a trilogy, and it's not Why Choose. It's just a male-female romance. We do have other ideas for Why Chooses in the future that we may write, but this one is just MF, so.
Yes. So these are sort of a little bit more general questions. So someone asked about touring, and if we would tour the UK again, Scotland in particular. And as we said, no, I'm sorry, you can't join my live. Decline. As we were saying at the beginning of the live, we were like, I can't believe we're not going to Scotland this year because we love it so much.
We've gone to Scotland the last 2 years. One was just for vacation, one was for tour. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm not going to Scotland in 2025.
It's so sad. We would absolutely love to go on tour in the UK again. It's honestly one of the highlights of my life was the tour we did last year. It was so much fun. We don't have plans at the moment. We are in the very early stages of hoping to go to Scotland next year because we have another series
that needs to be written in Scotland.
So that would be amazing if we could set up some signings, or even if it's more casual, right? We can stop in some places
and just give some signed copies.
But I don't have anything concrete. This is our wildest dreams, so but definitely on our radar. And someone asked if we would do a tour of the US.
I would absolutely love to do a tour of the US. The best way to get sent on tour is to have support from your publisher, and the best way to get that as an author is if you guys buy the Bloom editions. If they have really good sales, the publisher is more likely to send us on tour. So if you guys buy the Bloom editions and they see that there's a lot of support, they could possibly send us on tour. And I don't know if that would be for a re-release or if it would be for one of the later books coming out, but we told Bloom we were down for anything. So and we do have a couple more things in 2026 that we can't announce yet, but we will be going to more conventions there. Unfortunately, we did have to pull out of some this year just because of traveling to the States was a little tricky this year, and these deadlines and everything, and our books being out of print at times. There was a lot of complications all at once. But next year, 2026, will definitely be a more public year for us, and more things in the States. Things in the States that I can't announce yet, but I'm really excited for, are already in the works. So, but no official tour yet.
Then someone asks, how do you navigate having... Sorry, I'm moving on. Sorry, from travel. I'm now moving on to fun questions, comma, authors. Thank you for organizing this so beautifully. How do you navigate having two authors maintain one cohesive writing voice? It's genuinely admirable that you can swap and change and yet make the story flow so well. So thank you so much to whoever's asked that, because that's very kind of you. I think the answer is we have literally been writing together since we were like young. Very, very young.
Yeah.
And so we have a very similar writing style by nature. We consume a lot of the same content. And we also interweave our writing a lot.
So it's like, even if like Elizabeth writes the first draft of a scene, I might go through and rewrite it. So it's kind of both of our voices. But I think it just comes from writing together for so long and like reading each other's work so much that we just kind of have the same writing style. So it works.
Yes. And how do you feel, I kind of touched on this one already, but how do you feel knowing you are possibly writing the last piece of the Briar book? I feel sad about it. It's bittersweet.
I feel it's so bittersweet. Like at one point it like feels so good to finish such a long series. Like I feel like it'll feel like such an amazing accomplishment, especially because the outline really made me feel proud. Like I felt like everything was coming together. But it is going to be so bittersweet because I feel like we've been with these characters since 2022, and we'll be writing the last of it, like the last of the first drafts in 2025, and they've just been constant companions for like 3 years. So to say goodbye to them will be incredibly bittersweet, but incredibly fulfilling, I think.
Yeah, I think I do feel a really deep sense of pride that we had the idea for the ending when we wrote when we were plotting Bonded by Thorns. We had a vision of the series, and to see that vision fleshed out in the way it is, that sort of full circle, that feels like a really powerful feeling. But also, like, I feel like we owe Rosie a lot. Like, she has taken us, she's made so many of our dreams come true. I'm like very proud of her as a character, and so it's very bittersweet. That being said, I do not think we would be leaving the Vale forever.
Yeah,
and
I think there's definitely things we want to come back to do and write. So.
Absolutely, or other ways to sort of keep Rosie as part of our lives. So, and that's all just ideas, like nothing for sure, but just ideas we have swirling around. But yeah, it's gonna be quite the emotional journey for us, for sure. I wonder, should we answer a couple?
So these are, future Bonded by Thorns questions. So I would say, like, if you aren't caught up in the series, there might be a few spoilers. We'll try and avoid major spoilers, but we might accidentally slip or say a couple spoilers here from book 4 on. So, or from book 4 back. But so someone asked, will we see a lot more of Nori and Delphi, which is Farron's sister and Dayton's sister. So they've had a pretty big role in book 4, and I don't know if they will have as big of a role in future books, but you definitely keep tabs on them and know what they're up to, so we won't lose sight of them, because I think they are pretty awesome.
Yes, definitely going to keep touching on them. Will Rosie's mother and father reunite and have a happy ending? This is a threat.
I say they will be as happy as Cass is.
Okay. Will Caspian ever be happy for more than 5 minutes? Same for Dayton. Please say yes.
I would say Caspian in book 5 is happy for at least 10 minutes, and Dayton is happy for maybe 12. At least. Maybe more. But no less.
No less. No more. What do you mean? What do you mean? Are you going to break our hearts by the end of the series?
Yes. But hopefully we will put them back together. But I'll just tell you guys now, there was a scene I wrote in book 6 where I sobbed. And I don't often cry. Well, writing like hardly ever.
Helen doesn't cry. I'll say she's cold and some might say heartless.
But I cried in book 6, so.
Will Rosie ever return to the human realm again?
I feel like that would be really interesting if she did.
That would be interesting. Kind of touched on this. Any Beasts of the Briar spin-offs planned after book 7?
So, as you guys know, the new series with Bloom, and we're also contracted for actually 2 new series, including that one. There is a second highlight reel on our things. That's the book that needs to be written in Scotland. So those 2 series, they're both trilogies, completely different genres, but anyways, are going to be our priority after book 7, but we do have hopes to return to the Vale, and we've teased this before. I would really love to write a prequel novel on the War of Thorns that centers around Kel and Cass. I'd really love to write like an adventure romance prequel that centers around George and Anya, Rosalina's parents. And there's we've recently decided that another character needs a book, probably just a standalone. And this will not even make sense that you realize you need it until book 7. But I think this character really needs their own story. Even though at this point, if I told you who this character is, you'd be like, no, we're not buying a character about this story.
A book about
this character. But, because they're not the most popular character. But by book 7, I'm going to be convinced you will want a story on these characters.
We'll see, you guys. We'll see. Okay. Next question is, what was the inspiration for the Green Flame? Was he the planned big bad from the beginning? So, the Green Flame, Baron of the Green Flame, is an old friend of ours. He actually was a big bad. So, okay, he's actually OG, my husband's creation. We totally stole him from my husband, and my husband does not let me live this down.
Named by him.
He literally is the name.
Created by him, the magic by him.
Yeah, all of that was for a Dungeons and Dragons game, because we play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Not even our Dungeons and Dragons game, actually.
Well, he's in our Dungeons and Dragons game.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. But he came from another Dungeons and Dragons. This guy has crossed. This is why he's all about crossing worlds, because in our headcanon, he's crossed many worlds. And we used him, this character, we just loved his concept so much, as a big bad in a romantasy that we wrote that never got out of our laptops.
Which I would love to. It was so good. It was like a bounty hunter and a princess. It kind of had Rapunzel vibes. It was so good.
But we abandoned it for no reason.
No, like, we'll have to go back to
I think we just got burned out or something, and I don't know. It was really sad because it was actually really good. Anyway, that lives on the laptop. And then Sierra was the big bad when we devised this. And I think around book 2 was when
he just kind of like came into the story and fit so well.
Yeah, we were just like, I feel like he would be here. Let's just
and the connections just kind of grew from there, and now he's a very pivotal part to the Enchanted Vale, so...
That's his origin. Perth Queller's also a character stolen from my husband's Dungeons & Dragons.
His name was Quellen Perthos, and we just changed the name a little bit for that one.
So that's where a lot of the inspo comes from, is Dungeons & Dragons. What are your favorite quotes that you've written so far, or a sneaky quote from book 5? Oh, I should have looked one up, but...
Oh, yeah, sneaky quote from book 5. I'll open it while you think of your favorite quote.
Okay, I've
got it right here on my desktop, guys. Bet you would like to see it.
Why don't I answer the next question, and I'll let Helen find a good book 5 quote.
How about instead of someone in the comments can tell me a number between 1 and 658, and I'll choose that, and I'll just read a random quote from that page. So 7.
How many pages?
658.
Whoops. Okay, I see 342.
I already saw 7. Oh. That's what I'm doing.
I never get to choose.
This is too full of spoilers. Okay.
Oh wait, what about this one? This is a good one. In the italics. Oh,
this whole thing?
No,
or just
not the whole thing.
This one?
Yeah.
He is a work of art, starlight given form. Okay. What was the other one you had?
345, I see.
345.
345.
Okay, answer the next question when I find it.
Okay. You guys are gonna have to help me with this. If the boys were in a British bake-off, what would be their best bake type flavor? And what would it look like? I've never seen Great British Bake Off. But here's my thoughts. I think Dayton is secretly good at baking. I think he doesn't know it yet, but if he like tried it, laptops work best by open windows left open. I don't know about that. So I think Dayton could bake anything you tell him to. That's just my thought. I think Farron would be so fussy that he would end up like crumbling his flambe or something. Yeah, he would like he would get too like analytical about it and end up destroying the whole thing. Cal would like slop something down and be like, I'm done.
It's nutritious.
It's good.
What about Ez?
Why am I picturing him in full armor and a pink apron? That's what first. I feel like he would have just like some solid cookies. Like you need some.
He's probably like
cookies.
very meticulous with it. Like it's like a science experiment to him.
And
Fairing to make cinnamon buns. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he could do that. And Cass, he'd probably like
sit on the counter by Kel and just try and eat the cookie dough.
Yeah, be
obnoxious. He's just gonna like go mooch cookies from everybody.
Edible flowers from Ed. That would be good. Cass shows up with just whipped cream.
Your husband makes really good edible cookie dough.
He does, yeah. He does make really good. We've just started doing that. It's really good.
Okay, I've got the quote from 345.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Your mother loved snow globes, Papa says. We try to purchase one at every location we visited. The ones in the market are quite enchanting. Hope that's not a spoiler for anything. But.
I don't think so. Oh, I know that one. Okay. Yeah. All right. Little Papa. Okay.
What's the next one?
What scene or line lives rent-free in your head?
What scene or line?
So, as far as teasers, I would say the prologue for book 5 I found to be very interesting and really changes the way. It doesn't change the way we see a character.
Gives more info on a character.
Yeah, I think gives us an inside view to a character who we've sort of not been in the head of ever before. As far as book scenes that have come out,
I feel like I'll do a Prince of the Arena. There's like a new quote that Farron and Dayton say in part of the new Prince of the Arena, which is really about how they met and how they first fell in love. And it actually kind of reins in a lot for book 5 and 6 for them. So I've been thinking a lot about Prince of the Arena. I just think it's so cozy and romantic and just summery vibes. So I've been thinking about that a lot.
So maybe let's do one more from this list, and then we'll go into the live Q&A, because we're approaching 6 o'clock, and I don't want to keep you guys here all night.
Well, this was a wild question. Does Caspian have little tea parties in his room with dolls? What do you guys think?
Yeah, we'll let you guys use your...
I think maybe he had like tea parties with like citizens of the below or some goblins when he was younger
to try and force them to try and have tea parties with him. I could see that for sure.
But yeah, so now we'll open it up to you guys. We'll stay for another like 5 or so minutes and just try and answer your questions that haven't been answered yet.
And we've got Instagram and TikTok open, so we'll sort of be darting between the two. Do you mind sharing how you were able to outline the whole series? So we are big plotters. So if you hear the term plotter versus pantser is like a writing term for people who just sit down and write the story as a pantser, flying by the seat of their pants, or plotters. Because we write together, we have to plot. And we had a very clear idea when we began this series that we wanted Rosie to have an individual adventure in every single realm. 7 books, 7 realms. The Briar, which was once known as the Queen's Realm, autumn, spring, summer, winter, the below, and the above. So we knew that these were sort of the pivotal locations and plot points. And we sort of built the story out from there. I think that provided like the bones of the story. And there were some big concepts, I think.
Yeah, I think we like went through and we knew, okay, like this needs to be 7 books for each of those reasons. And I think we knew because the princes were cursed and we had their fatal flaw from book 1, we had in our head what their journeys were going to be. And obviously they're not going to be linear. Like you think, oh, they're just going to move up and be better the whole time. And as you can kind of see at the end of book 5 with a certain character. Book 4 with little Farron, you know, it's not always, even though he broke his curse, it's not all up for him. So,
or maybe it is. He seems to think he's doing great.
He's doing great. So maybe, you know what, maybe I shouldn't judge him, but, do you know if Bloom will do a pre-order incentive? I actually don't know, and that we'll probably learn more closer to the re-release and the release of book 5, what they're going to do, but you can bet when we know, we'll let you guys know.
That would be very cool. Absolutely. Will the new series be Wide Shoes? So our new series is not Wide Shoes. It's a male-female romance. But we do have ideas for a Wide Shoes series down the road.
Who writes the most heartbreaking scenes and why is it Helen? I feel like I have written a lot of heartbreaking scenes, but you wrote a really heartbreaking one in book 6.
No, I got 2.
You got... I'm thinking of one, but what's the other one?
At the end, closer to the end.
Oh, yeah. Book 6 is the darkest one, you guys. Do you ever disagree? Oh, you should do one on Instagram, actually.
TikTok.
Oh.
How are you able to release books 5, 6, and 7 within 6 months? That's crazy. It does feel crazy. That you're absolutely right. I'm very, very grateful that we are able to do this full time. That was always my dream from when we were little. We just wanted to write all. That was it. And we're lucky we got to do it together, which is amazing. So we started book 5 in November of 2024, and we finished that, like the rough draft of that in March.
So basically how we're doing it is just not stopping writing.
And
the only little break we have is this 3-week break in New Zealand, and then we're right back into it. We'll always still be doing some work down there, and we're also doing the copy edits and the light editing on the first 4. So the answer is, I just think it's just a little bit crazy.
I think that is. I am saying that this trip to New Zealand is really important for us because, you know the expression, like, you can't pour from an empty cup, or you need to constantly refresh the creative well. And I feel like this is going to be like a good time to sort of get fresh scenery, not be like sitting on my couch in my like curled position for like 10 hours a day. So I think that's going to be really important for us to have that space a little bit, just to sort of disconnect a little bit. But we're still going to be, we just can't fully disconnect. So we'll still be working and gaining inspiration and all that. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Oh,
you have to do this.
Oh, it made me do a puzzle.
It
made me do a puzzle and I failed and Helen had to do it. So yeah, I think the answer is just, don't have hobbies, don't see anyone, and don't do anything except be on your computer. That's the answer.
Another question was, do we ever disagree with how characters are going to go or their arcs? And I say the answer is no. It's always kind of just what's best for the character, and we just chat it out. But honestly, it's never really ever been an issue.
No, yeah. Will the book covers for 5, 6, and 7 still match with the original books? Yes. So just in case you missed this from the beginning, if you are in the US, Canada, they're going to follow that style with the girl on the cover. And if you're in Commonwealth, UK, Europe, they're going to continue with that style, which was like the text-based style, or the word style, I'll call it. So yeah, they'll continue with whatever your territory has done so far.
And honestly, this might be our last question because it's 6, which is, do you ever think of writing in the urban fantasy world or stick with fantasy? So I actually haven't read a ton in the urban fantasy world. So if I were to write in it, I would need to like read and see what it's about. But I would say our upcoming series 1 is very high fantasy, and the other one is
historical
something.
Historical Contemporary? What? I don't... Time slip. Time slip. So,
but I never say never. Like, honestly, I never would have envisioned myself writing a Why Choose book, and then I love it so much. So, you know what? Never say never about what you're going to write.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, anyway, I hope that we were able to answer most of your questions,
and
you guys.
like, if you didn't join the full thing, we will post this on our YouTube, like the full thing, and the replay will also be available on Instagram. And all of our frequently asked questions for the audiobook and the Bloom acquisition are going to be linked in our bio. So all of that stuff, if you're curious, because it is a bit confusing with everything. But thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for spending your Tuesday night with us. We really appreciate it. And honestly, for all of your love, your support, and your patience with the changes that have come, not just, this week, but throughout our whole careers. It's been quite the adventure, and we're so grateful to have you guys with us. And honestly, like, Rosie could not have a better team behind her cheering her on. And so we just want to say thank you guys so much.
We will see you soon.
More
Australia
to come.
And New Zealand.
Yes, New Zealand. We can't wait to see you guys and see you in Sydney. If you're coming to Babe, stop by our table. It'll be so fun. If you're coming to Babe, we got amazing goodies
released yet, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. We love you so much. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night.
Bye.